for. And let me just throw something out there. Why one looks bigger than the other? Okay. Anyway, uh, I'm not getting paid. I ain't got no following. I ain't got no congregation. Have subscribers. Thank you. My shoes are getting tangled. All of this stuff. Okay, I think, I need to move this over a little bit. Hello, Sylvia Nishay. Yeah, I don't want to put it directly in my face. I'm already blind. Good Lord. Oh my God. Okay, so if you guys want to donate a ring light, I appreciate it. Good Lord, I can't see right now. Oh. Good morning. I can't see if I have people here or not. I'm sorry. Maybe I'll let this down. Nope, doesn't help. Isn't that great? I'm sorry, guys. I can't see. So, Sylvia Shay, welcome. Guys. Put something in the. Have to lean in and look. Took them off. So, since I have on all those lashes today, we're going to do this. Now, let me welcome you to a peek into my crazy world. Back in the day, in these prehistoric times, there were dinosaurs, right? Talk to my mother. She says, that man said we shouldn't be eating pork. I'm like, what? Yeah, we shouldn't eat pork. I don't know where this came from. And I said, what? I said, yeah. She said, yeah, it came from, the man said it came from China. Huh? Yeah, it came from somewhere in China. What? And I said, well, it's not the same as the 70s. I know that. It's just not. I said, when we had our farms, it only ate what was on the land. So it's pretty pure, leftover corn parts, grains, stuff, stuff that we didn't eat for the vegetables and fruit, grass. I guess I wasn't there. And I said, it's not the same. And she said, yeah. And so he said, we shouldn't eat it, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, we don't know what they're eating these days. Are they eating humans? Are they eating other animals? Or we don't know. We don't know what they're feeding them, right? I look different today. Wow. I don't know what's going on, but I'm grateful. I look different. Anyway. Oh. Whoop. Got a little frost on it. Talenty. I don't care. Talentize. I'm waiting for it to melt. So I said, what do you think about? She said, yeah, I tried. Excuse me. So she says, yeah, I tried turkey eggs or something. And I'm like, yeah, turkey. Then I tried, turkey. Then I tried another type of egg. And I'm like, oh, what? I had a gentleman call her. And he wanted to look and talk. All that beautiful stuff. And I'm like, really? Really? Okay. We'll see. So, can't believe how the things you see and some of the things you hear. Now, so we have been doing Queendomship, a Queendomship series about Esther and all of the different characters. But before I finish that, we were talking about hi, one person. You can leave a heart or a chat in the comment section. I greatly appreciate it. I can't see you guys' comments whenever I get interrupted now. They just disappear, so I apologize. You can always direct them to my phone number or email. Okay, you can text me while I'm talking, and I might be able to chat back and forth with you. But maybe that's a problem on your phone. I don't know. I can picture in picture see things that come in a little bit when I'm watching something. Picture in picture is unavailable. That's on my tablet. But I may be able to go back and forth with you guys if you jump off the live and want to chat. I can kind of look at it here. Just my suggestion as a remedy. But I can't see it there. So thank you for joining me. I was talking about the conversation me and my mother just had a few minutes ago about pigs and animals, and somehow we got into her trying pig eggs. She said turkey eggs, maybe goose eggs or duck eggs or something. And I said, what? Oh, I said, listen, I'm still trying to adjust to chicken eggs, honey. And I said, do you think, this is my brain, okay, do you think turkeys are from prehistoric dinosaur days? And she's like, what? What? Girl, I don't know what she said after that. So there's a study from the prehistoric times that was conducted, and it said that. I'm just joking. But I wonder, those some big freaking things. I mean, and is it the steroids or the actual structure of these turkeys that we have these big steroid turkey wings? Everything is so big now. We never had it so big in life. Good Lord. I'm just saying. Now, I think that's funny. I don't care. Woo! Now, so I think we did chapter 8 for Esther saves the Jews. This is Esther chapter 8, as I said. And we're talking about heroic women that stood up in the time of trouble. It made a difference. And it had to be God. Because she really had not considered, she's a kid. She's a virgin. She's just trying to live life. And yes, things get hard. But again, people, in a sense, even now, using politics, trying to tell you it is important to stay conscious and pay attention out here because, it may not affect you in a lot of different ways and you may not have anything to say. And, some things you say may lean towards things that most of us don't agree with and then some of us do. But overall, you need to stay conscious and pay attention because it can affect your life. At some point, it might not affect it today or tomorrow, but at some point, it may be. And if you didn't stand up and have a voice, then some of us are mad at you. Because maybe if you'd said something, wow. If you had said something, if you had voted, if you had voiced your opinion, this might have made a bigger difference. So here we are today. We're standing up making our voices ring. Lift every voice and sing until heaven and earth ring, right? Or lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, right? Sing with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicings rise high as the listening skies. I'm just putting a beat to it. Let's get to it. Let us march on till victory is won. Sing our song. I think they wrote that song in concordance to this Home of the Brave song because remember, they were over here trumping on the enemies, on the Indians to get the land, and now they're brave because they drew a fight in from somewhere else on top of us as if We weren't here. I'm not saying I'm an Indian or a native, but I'm just saying there's some DNA history there. Right? And I mean, I'm mixed with everything. So I'm for the whole nation. I cannot lie. I got everything in here. I have everything in here. Almost every freaking continent. Somebody said that's the Jesus gene. What? How would I know? Well, we did tests and this is the healing. We need your DNA. We need your kids. You need to go and pray and ask God to cleanse your funky butt and leave everybody else alone. We're not experiments. We're not science projects. We're people. If you want to know something, you ask God. You don't go and just snatch people up and start plugging and digging. Now let's focus. Who does this? Well, we was just curious. Well, God is curious too. Back to the maker. Now, people that speak up. Esther. This was a young girl. We did this before. Chapter 1. God makes room for Esther to come in by Vashti being at the party and saying she don't want a party. I can't see if someone's there or not, okay? And they say, hey, come down. Bring her around. We want her on a pole with just a crown. She said, no. You gotta tell them no. He sent some more people up there, eunuchs. Queen Vashti, your husband calls you. They're drunk. This is 180th day, most likely, somewhere in there. They're showing off. They're now skunky, drunk. And they're calling for the queen to come down with just her crown on. You want me to come down? No, she said, no. I said no. Queen, your husband calls. No. They got mad. Said they were going to make an example of her by kicking her out of the kingdom and putting a decree in place that if husbands tell the wives to do anything, they better jump and say how high. Put in all the languages sent to everybody in this entire kingdom that if a woman speaks against her husband, she is to be banned from the empire. Yeah. So they push her out, do a decree, starts getting advice. Someone says, call the virgins in. So they do. Beautiful young virgins sought out by the king. They are to come to the citadel of Shushan and dwell in the women's quarters under the custody of Haggai, Hedgie. I don't know. I was in Hijah, the king's eunuch and the custodian of the women, and let the beauty preparations for 1 year begin. So they did that. Mordecai hears about it, and he sends word for Esther to come down and try out. Esther goes down. He gives her 5 smooth tips to secure the place of queen. She does it amongst all of these women. He finds favor in Esther. I know those 5 tips. You want to know them? Pay me. Now, why you ain't got nobody? Because people have known for years that I have the quality of a wife, so they've been, oh, she's been a magnet again. No, not her. She's off limits. She, she crazy. She, say, thank you. That's why. I knew. It's okay. They crazy. They want God to kill them out the way, or have them sitting in straight jackets while I marry the prince, the queen, the king, whoever. Oh, well, that's so be it. That's what they wanted. They'll be sitting up there from a straight jacket. Oh, she's my favorite. Oh my God, I love her so much. Oh my God, I'm a fan. You could have been a fan on the outside, cuckoo. So, they get rid of Vashti, true queen. She wasn't down for that crown stuff without no clothes. Mordecai discovers this plot against the king. He tells Esther now that she's queen. They got an inside person married to the king. Tell your husband somebody's trying to kill him. They're at the door. They're doing some rambunctious stuff. So she did. They check it out, find out they're guilty, kills them or punishes them. That's his rule there. And recorded in his book of Chronicles in the presence of the king. So now Haman is on a bigger kick. He wants all of the Jews killed, annihilated. And so he's putting this conspiracy together. That big thing better not come in this house. We're going to sure not be fighting. Y'all going to hear it. So Haman is conspiring to kill all of the Jews. He's getting all these laws put in place sneakily. But he doesn't know that Esther is a Jewish person. Mordecai is on the ground so he can hear what's going on the outside. So between the two of them, they're staying in the loop for their people. Now, most don't know that Esther is an Egyptian, a Jewish person at this point. Okay, so, yeah, like I said, they're kind of getting it all together, shaping it up to protect the Jewish people. So Haman thinks he's slick. He's putting all these decrees together that on the 13th day of the month, according to Haman, on the calendar of Adar, that all of these 13th day of the 12th month, that all of these people can be killed, annihilated, destroyed, and all of their possessions, women, kids, little, old, young, didn't matter. That they will all plunder with their possessions, just be obliterated. Is that the word? Obliterated? Whatever. So they send out all these copies to everyone, published to all the people in this area. So then for the 4th chapter speaks of Esther agreeing to help the Jews or her people. So she literally kind of does her own little campaign in the background. Again, Mordecai is giving her, information. Hey, look, they out here, they doing stuff. We really need to get on this because we're not going to be here. Okay, so talk to your husband. Let him know what they doing out here. You're a Jewish person. Don't let us be out. Who knows? Maybe God put you in place for such a time as this. There you go. That's where the scripture comes from. Maybe God chose you for such a time as this. So, she thinks about it because she's not interested in this stuff. She's just a young virgin. She all this hero stuff. She's a kid, right? So she's listening to her cousin, uncle, and he's saying, look, this is our lives. Help and save us. So she gets in gear. She starts telling everybody, okay, fast, pray. Put on your sackcloth clothes or whatever, and I'm going to do my stuff from this end, okay? So stay vigilant, be praying, and fasting, no food, no drinks for the next 3 days, and we're going to get to the king and, do this thing, right? So that's 4th chapter. All right, so she sent word Mordecai to go out and tell these people this. So then they have this banquet. In this banquet, she is kind of preparing and hearing what's going on during this time that they're fasting and praying. And she requested to see the king and lets her know, I have a petition and a request. If it be found that I have favor in your sight, O king, please, I'd like to petition and have you fulfill my request. So the king and Haman is to come to this banquet that was prepared for them tomorrow. But Haman is still plotting against Mordecai because he felt like whenever he was being Christianed into this group in the 3rd chapter of Esther, Mordecai did not bow or pay homage. Like, he did not take the knee. He was like, I'm not a demon trying to kill all of us. They don't get no honor, right? They don't get no honor. So, I guess that's what pitched the campaign to go against Mordecai and all of the Jews. So, still in the fifth chapter, Haman plots against Mordecai. He's doing stuff. He's kind of pushing this thing that Mordecai gets killed now because he's telling his family, you know what would make me really happy? If I walk into that gate tomorrow, he's not there. So you're all sitting there, yeah. How about we build the gallows this tall, this high, 50 cubits, blah, blah, blah. And you suggest to the king in the morning that that Mordecai be hung. And then go merrily to the king for the banquet. And this pleased Haman or Haman. So he had the gallows made. So the gallows, I believe, is where there's a step ladder, and it walks onto a platform that has a hole in the square hole. It's most times closed. Oh, that's what it is. You step on this piece of board, and you have a rope that is extended from a piece of wood that's kind of like Hangman, the game, literally. Wow. We used to play that game, Hangman. Kind of foolishness. Let me look at this. Anyway, it was like that. If you ever saw the game, Hangman. That's not funny. That's a lynching. So you make a line. You have this pole here, and you have this. And I don't remember how it worked, but it looked pretty much like this. And you have to draw parts, but you're doing something to get those parts. That's weird. So anyway, on this platform, there's a little square door built into this platform. And when you get on that square, your hands are behind your back. Sometimes they'll they'll put a blinder thing or scarf over your face, a bandana over your eyes. They'll cover your eyes with something. I think it's because as you're choking out, your eyes can pop out, and or it just looks funny. Like you can't breathe. So it's like you're probably making all kinds of faces. You know, oh my God, I can't breathe. Who knows? And it turned red because you're being strangled. So nobody wants to see that blood rushing to your eyes. I don't know. But whatever it was, once you get there and they're standing there and you hear the music in the Western, do-do-do, 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 and then somebody will say, now or something. And then they swing that thing open and you fall down with all the might of God. The gravity pulls you down. Sometimes they may even put weights on you. I don't know. Just weird people. And you strangle and they leave you hanging. So now I can't see you guys. Okay, so all these interruptions, I'm going to have to... I don't have a picture now. I don't know if you guys can hear me. It says it's still going. I can't see any messages. I can't see my face at this point. I'm going to end this. Or maybe come back. I don't know. I apologize, guys. Now it's the full picture. I keep getting these interruptions, and I have calls that need to come in. My phone don't normally ring. I promise you, it never ever rings until I'm now back online. I don't know what I've done differently other than probably put my resume out there or some stuff. So Esther has a banquet. They know that Haman is plotting on them with Mordecai, against Mordecai. Somewhere along the way, Mordecai is honored. Mordecai gets hung. Esther saves the Jews. I think we've done this one already. So yes, we talked about Esther getting the house of a house of Haman, which was the enemy of the Jews. So Mordecai went out from the presence of the king in royal apparel of blue and white, with a great crown of gold, a garment of fine linen and purple. And the city of Shushan rejoiced and was glad. The Jews had light and gladness. Again, when the good people are in charge, the people rejoice. They're not mourning. When the bad people are in I'm not gonna say bad, but maybe they don't have favorable thoughts that are in favor of the people, they mourn. That's what scripture says. So then many of the people of the land became Jews because of the fear of the Jews that fell upon them. Now, there's always this debate if the word Jew is a religion, if it's a nationality, if it's all of it. It's all of it. Everybody knows that. Just like there are people that tie religion to politics, they tie politics to religion, they tie it's what is it? It's three things. Their race. Like they were born this way, they're gonna die this way. That's how strongly they believe in it. Like they're not gonna change. This is just what they are. This is what they do. That's the same kind of like with the Jewish faith or the Jewish people. Their religion, whatever it is tied to their identity, period, and their faith. But it's a third one. Religion and faith, I can't speak for them how they define it, but whatever they believe is tied to their identity. Like the way they live, the way they believe, and the way they move in life. Okay? It's their own little thing. And it may be because it ties back into Jesus. I guess. I don't know. I studied it. It ain't something I be keeping in the back of my head like, oh, and I know this. That's just paper. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't really care because it tells us don't be worrying about genealogy. Just know you have faith and you better use it for the day of judgment. It's not based on faith. Your money is not based on where you come from and all that. That's for the pigeon vision here. The big picture is you are a part of this universe, all of us, every human. Every human was born under the guise of God's power. We have power, and a lot of people abuse it. Very talented, but they're evil as frick and don't care. They don't care about other people. They don't care about God. And they're abusing their power, which brings that good old sin check, which is death. So, we all got to die. Truth. Here's the thing. Our souls are what's going to be judged. Not this physical body, clowns. I mean, people. The physical body. That's going to go to the ground, excuse me. It's the spiritual body. The spiritual part of us. The spirit that we called. Well, anyway, whatever's causing this body to move around is the Spirit of God. Okay? Without Him, we don't have activity. We don't do stuff. Okay? Just don't. We don't have life without God. So, what I'm saying is, God is going to judge your spirit and how you use your temple. That's going to decide if you have life or death. After this life, there's another life. There's judgment. So as I stated, when you are, somebody playing with me, but I got confirmation from the Almighty King. When you are here in this earth, God has already laid out the foundation for us to have these powers. We're like Him. We're small gods. And so many people abuse this. We're not different at all. Society wants you to believe that. Race, money, level, nothing. We all have the same abilities that God has laid out here. It didn't say just for this group or just for this group. This is for all of His creation, to have their own designated powers, period. People dumb it down by being evil. So it's not seen as mighty as someone that decides to use it for good. And this society likes to smother the people that are good. And God is saying, high time we flip that script. So where you were a demon and you rose really high, it's time for you to sit low. And all my good kids that's been doing what I said, first shall be last and last shall be first. So if you want to push them to the back of the line, we're going to flip the line. Congratulations. That can be individual situations or that can be global. It's God's choice. I have a good feeling. There's just going to be this great divide of people that believe and people that don't. And you're going to be shocked at who actually be on that good side. Because it's an individual journey. You may be looking at people going, that ain't, and you may discount it, but God will have them sitting over there drinking pina coladas, eating good old ice cream with milk and honey. And you over there fighting battles, fighting off zombies and demons because you wanted to be at war. Just saying. So Esther saves the Jews. So we're talking about the 9th chapter. The Jews destroy their tormentors. I hate to even do this, but now in the 12th month, that is the month of Adar, on the 13th day, instead of everybody jumping on these Jewish people, the time came for the king's command and his decree to be executed. On the day that the enemies of the Jews had hoped to overpower them, the opposite occurred, in that the Jews themselves overpowered those who hated them. The Jews gathered together in their cities throughout all the provinces of King Ahasuerus to lay hands on those who sought their harm. And no one could withstand them, because fear of them fell upon all the people, and all the officials of the provinces, the satraps, the governors, and all those doing the king's work, helped the Jews, because the fear of Mordecai fell upon them. For Mordecai was great in the king's palace, and his fame spread throughout all the provinces. For this man Mordecai became increasingly prominent. Thus the Jews defeated all their enemies with the stroke of the sword, with slaughter and destruction, and did what they pleased to those who hated them. And in Shushan, the citadel, the Jews killed and destroyed 500 men, all Parshandatha, Dalphon, Aspatha, Paratha, Adalia. All those names, there's a bunch of them. Okay. The 10 sons of Haman. Told y'all gonna keep effing around. God gonna take your whole group. So all of these people were slaughtered. They were killed. All of these people destroyed 500 men. Also, I don't think these were people. I think these were parts of the nation. And the 10 sons of Haman, the son of Hammedatha, these were people, the enemy of the Jews, they killed, but did not lay a hand on the plunder. On that day, the number of those who were killed in Shushan, the citadel, was brought to the king. And the king said to Queen Esther, the Jews have killed and destroyed 500 men in Shushan, the citadel, and 10 of Haman's sons. What have they done in the rest of the king's provinces? Now what is your petition? It shall be granted to you. Or what is your further request? It shall be done. Then Esther said, if it pleases the king, let it be granted to the Jews who are in Shushan to do again tomorrow according to today's decree. And let Haman's 10 sons be hanged at the gallows. Ain't so funny no more, is it? This is a horrible. So the king commanded this to be done. The decree was issued in Shushan, and they hanged Haman's 10 sons. And the Jews who were in Shushan gathered together again on the 14th day of the month of Adar and killed 300 men at Shushan. And they did not lay a hand on the plunder. The remainder of the Jews in the king's provinces gathered together and protected their lives, had rest from their enemies, and killed 75,000 of their enemies. But they did not lay a hand on the plunder. This was on the 13th day of the month of Adar, and on the 14th of the month they rested and made a day of feasting and gladness. I am done. The feast of Purim. But the Jews who were at Shushan assembled together on the 13th day, as well as on the 14th. And on the 15th of the month they rested, and made it a day of feasting and gladness. Therefore the Jews of the villages who dwelt in the unwalled towns celebrated. They didn't have a home, I guess. Or maybe they were outside the borders. I don't know. Celebrated the 14th day of the month of Adar with gladness and feasting as a holiday, and for sending presents to one another. And Mordecai wrote these things and sent letters to all the Jews, near and far, who were in all the provinces of King Ahasuerus, to establish among them that they should celebrate. Oh, somebody speaks another language, which is not a crime, but they're stomping around hollering at people that were born here and that speaks only English. And they're going to have an outburst and probably start speaking in their language. And it may be a very negative phrase that's well known for. I'm done. I think we said enough. 10th chapter, Mordecai's advancement. So the king imposed tribute on the land and on islands of the sea. Now all the acts of his power and his might, and the account of the greatness of Mordecai, to which the king advanced him, are they not written in the book of the chronicles of the king of Media and Persia? For Mordecai the Jew was second to Ahasuerus king, and was great among the Jews, and well received by the multitude of his brethren, seeking the good of his people and speaking peace to all his countrymen. But this I like to say, you live by the sword, you die by the sword, but I don't feel good. That was the 10th chapter. That was the end of Esther. I've never really read through it like that with all this depth. I mean, we know Esther was the queen, and that, a lot of people don't even know about Vashti, because again, we don't always read the entire book. We just know that she became queen to the king and she saved her people. Man, they flipped that script real hard. Thank you for joining me. That was the end of, and I would love to go further, but I'm not feeling well. That was the end of Esther. That's just that. In the book for Queendomship, I'm sure we'll find something else that ends the series. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate your presence, your words, your kindness, your follows. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to shop my links, or text me, call me if you like. You can send an email. And until next time, thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful, prosperous day. And I hope I said something to help you and to enlighten you. These are classic, good old, probably after Christ stories, BC, AC, AD, after the death of Christ stories, okay? They're just probably timeless. You can find anything in here that relates to today. Cheating women, cheating husbands, cheating wives, scandalous kids. Um, all of these leaders in here generally were heathens serving the devil, and God had to step in and let them know who he was. And they knew, but they just wanted to do what they wanted. And they have a choice, but the end is death. That doesn't mean just physical, it means even your spiritual. So heaven and hell is the next level after death. So it's not just that you physically die. God can destroy your soul. Now, okay, well, what I care? Trust me. You should. Until next time.